Hello and welcome to Convinced Catholicism, a place for all things Catholic. Today's video is about how to pray Divine Worship Daily Office the easiest way. So you'll notice that I have my tablet here, my Amazon Fire tablet, and I also have the Commonwealth version of Divine Worship Daily Office, right? So this is me saying that, let's just say off the bat, right, that Divine Worship Daily Office, the Commonwealth edition, and Divine Worship Daily Office, the North American edition, are very different. Even though they're the same structure, same concept, whatever else, they are different. So first of all, let me just say that this is the Commonwealth edition. I do not currently own a North American edition, though I should be getting one soon. Thank you. I don't know if he wants his name revealed, but thank you for the person who sold it to me. And this office, let's just show you, is based very heavily off of the 1662 Book of Common Prayer. And so if you see here, the opening sentences are extremely limited. It's just this one page, okay? And if you're accustomed to praying the 1662, then this prayer book is perfect for you. But for somebody who might be accustomed to praying, say, maybe the 1928 American or the monastic diurnal, for example, this will take some getting used to. And you'll notice that I have a little bit of a cheat sheet here for it. Okay, so the other thing too, and this is where the monastic diurnal comes in, the prime terce sexton known is based off of Psalm 119 or 118 in the Septuagint numbering, which to me personally is not preferred. I'd rather pray the gradual Psalms 120 to 127, in the prime terce sext and known, or specifically terce sext and known. The other thing too is you'll notice that Compline is the traditional Compline of 431, 91, 134, and the rest, right? Now, two, this book does not encourage you to do a psalm or psalms appointed in a lectionary. This encourages you to do psalms straight through for 30 days, and they're not thematic. So evening prayer, will be day 3, evening prayer will be Psalm 18. Morning prayer will be Psalm 19. Psalm 19, 20, 21. And that can get rather lengthy for some people. Me personally, I like when there is a psalm appointed in the lectionary. And this is where my little cheat sheet comes in. Right, so the day that this is uploaded will be October 24th, 2024. And we can see that morning prayer, you can see that Psalm 18 is divided amongst them. And you can also see too that, Psalm 5 through 6 or whatever else is appointed throughout the day. And it's usually just 1 or 2 and at most 3 psalms. And so that is how it would be laid out, say, in the North American edition. Now, what this has over the North American edition is the readings from Scripture, locked and loaded, right? So if you're not familiar, the Book of Common Prayer and the Divine Worship Daily Office has appointed readings, a Old Testament and New Testament reading for morning prayer, and an Old Testament and a New reading, and a New Testament reading for evening prayer. And here they are locked and loaded, right? So Thursday, Matins first lesson, Matins second lesson, Evensong, Vespers or evening prayer, first lesson, second lesson, already loaded up for you. No searching through a Bible no need to have two books at once. And that is actually a weakness of the North American edition, right? So the North American edition, in comparison, has a different night prayer. It usually has like 1 or 2 psalms per night, just like, say, Liturgy of the Hours. And that's what I personally prefer. Night prayer is supposed to be kind of like the shortest, and or Compline night prayer, same thing, is supposed to be the shortest. You're supposed to get it done really quickly because you're tired, you're going to go to bed, right? The traditional one is not preferable to me, at least in this version. Now, the two other problems I can see with the North American edition, and again, I'm sorry I don't have a copy with me, but I don't own one, is the many typographical errors that it might have, depending on the edition you own, and the fact that it doesn't come with the lectionary Bible bound with it. You have to have a separate book. And, having 4 separate volumes that you use separately per season is one thing. Using 2 books at once for prayer is, a bit of a juggle, right? So I'm going to show you the easiest way to pray. And I have my Kindle here, my Fire tablet here. This could be done on the phone. This could be on a desktop. This could be on the iPad, whatever you want, because it's a web browser. It's a website on a web browser. So I'll just go ahead and get my Kindle unlocked, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. So again, I'm doing it for the day that this was uploaded. This is the 24th of October, 2024. And we can see that this is the daily morning prayer. And we see that this is kind of like the choose your own adventure that the North American edition offers. So we have several different sentences. Notice that they're for Trinity tide. The sentences will change based off of what season you're in. And, no flipping required. This will just have a mere, I guess you could say, click of a button, right? So there's a penitential rite, just like there would be in the other book, the Commonwealth edition. And you have options here. So, or this exhortation, and then that pops up. Okay. We also see the officiant people, blah, blah, blah. And then we also see the Venite, which you have the option to sing, which is very nice. The Venite is the invitatory psalm. And then we also have, notice here, the options. So we could do the psalms for morning of day 24, which will just be the 24th of October. So, and that's usually somewhere between 2 to 4, maybe 5 psalms, depending on the length. But notice, alternatively, for the 7-week cycle, we have Psalm 18, Part 1, which is 20 verses, nice and approachable for a lay person especially. Then we have the first lesson, locked and loaded, a short canticle, second lesson, ready to go, the Benedictus, Apostles' Creed, and then any collects that you might want, okay? So we have that for the most recent Sunday, which is the 21st Sunday of Trinity Tide, and or St. Anthony Mary Claret, who you might remember is kind of one of my favorite saints. There's a YouTube short about that if you wanted to check it out. We also have different collects. By the way, the only collects that you would have to pray is one of these two or both of them, and then collect for peace, collect for grace, and then go all the way down to prayer of St. Chrysostom, and then the let us bless the Lord, thanks be to God, the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, so on and so forth. And then so we also have, for me personally, and I think a lot of other people too, the preferred terce sexta non. So let's go to terce, hymn, immediately recognizable to anybody who prays the monastic diurnal. The Psalms are immediately recognizable to anybody who prays the monastic diurnal, etc., etc. And the nice thing too about this website, and I've never tried it myself, is that you could call in and pray with the person who operates the website, which is somebody named John Covert. This website, by the way, is prayer.covert.org. It sounds like a secret kind of thing, covert operation, but that's simply the man's surname. And we can see here that you can dial in, at least from the United States, 914-226-2403, and then there are other numbers available for those who might be from outside the United States. And then we also see here the ordinariate, lectionary, and that's the thing too, right? So I don't need to, and I plan on reviewing the North American edition, etc., and it's not the end of the world to use a Bible, but obviously to prefer to have just one book. This is the cheat sheet I have, and I mentioned it already, that I printed it, and it's from this website. Now, the only thing is that you can really only fit one or two sheets at a time without making the book too awkwardly bulky, and printing a sheet every week is going to be costly and a waste of paper. And I recommend that if you do pray this from the website, do so from a tablet like this. That way it feels a lot more like reading a book. You know, they're very much the same size as a book, slightly larger than this book, but more or less the same size as a book. So this is quote unquote the easiest way to do so. And then let's take a look at Compline, right? So we can see here that it is just a couple of Psalms, very quick and easy. You know, I don't know about you, but I am often very tired when it comes time to pray Compline. And, you know, by the time that I pray it, I am falling asleep. Maybe I should start Compline earlier, but I don't really feel like I have time to go through the whole of the traditional Compline that you see of 4 or 5 Psalms. And then here's another thing too. The Nunc Dimittis is offered in the Compline. So let's go to evening prayer. You'll see that Nunc Dimittis is the second canticle in evening prayer, but if you click on it, it changes to another one, which is Colossians 1:12-20. And then so evening prayer is not, you won't be saying the same antiphon. And there's a lot of kind of, like I said, choose your own adventure. If you notice here, let's go to sext, for example, or non, excuse me. You'll see that the collects, the following is, you'll see or, and you'll also see a lot of the time that it says it's appropriate for that day of the week or whatever. So if you feel that you want the one volume of Divine Worship Daily Office, but the customization and the familiarity of the North American edition, and not having to lug around 2 books, prayer.covert.org is the way to go. And again, this is not so much a review, more so a PSA. I belong to a lot of forums on the internet. You know, one of them is for the personal ordinariate. One of them is for breviaries. And people often say, oh, the North American edition doesn't have a lectionary, or, oh, this doesn't have the appointed Psalms in the lectionary. And I think his name is John, forgive me if that's wrong, but John is always saying, oh, my website exists, you know? So I'm just trying to, you know, spread the word, I guess, as you could say, right? But anyway, Hope you found that helpful. Thank you very much. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Take care, and God bless.